Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you, as always, by Export Ultra. This is the Agenda podcast for Friday the 6th of September.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Good morning, Lane.
Morning.
Happy Friday.
Great to be a Friday.
Isn't it? Although, I don't know, Fridays these days haven't really been feeling like a Friday because I feel like when you commentate over the weekend, it just sort of all blurs into one.
Yeah, we've got nothing.
This is the first Friday where we don't have any commentaries to
Yeah.
do. So the All Blacks are playing at stupid o'clock in the morning. It's a scheduling issue.
And do you know what's going to happen? I'm going to score a massive own goal at some stage during the weekend and go out and get massively hammered and spend half a day or full day in the dog box and hungover.
Yes. Oh, actually, we should address this. We talked about it on the podcast yesterday with Matt Heath, and you weren't here. We did mention that we had received a 1:30 a.m. things have gone pear-shaped text. Are you allowed to share anything with us?
Listen, yeah, after the marketing awards on Wednesday night, there was it was a lot of confusion around kick-ons.
Yeah.
And where we went for kick-ons. And at one stage, a person who shall remain nameless from the communications team here at wider NZME company,
Yes,
rang me and it was a tirade of abuse about why they couldn't get into the bar that we were in.
right, yes.
And disappointingly, one of them was yelling at the bouncer, Mike Lane said we can come in, let us in. And so it was getting a bit awkward. And then...
Here's a tip. Never tell a bouncer Mike Lane said...
I said that. I said, that's the worst thing you can do. Don't do that. No, there was a lot of confusion about kick-ons and getting to places. We went to a couple of underground whiskey bars and getting to them was quite hard. And then when we got in there, they said, you're the last people, one more drink, and then we're closing. And then we had a whole group of other people outside just kind of calling and yelling at us and sending us abusive text messages and then demanding to speak to other people and... it just went pear-shaped. And it was 2 a.m. I was trying to find a dive bar to drink it at 2 a.m.
On a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday. Nothing good happens. Like, why didn't someone just say it's midnight, go home?
Yeah.
Like you guys did.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I was tucked up in bed by 11 o'clock, and when I woke up the next morning and saw that text, I was just like, yep, right decision made. We were saying, so my understanding was that there was like 2 spots left in that bar and they let you and one other in.
Yes.
And I saw that person yesterday morning. He looked like a lizard.
Oh my God. He was not well yesterday.
And we were like, so you've only got 2 spots left and these are the 2 people
Well, they knew there was some money makers. That's why. I mean, we might have been the biggest lizards, but they could see that these lizards drink.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
we're going to be able to wring the towel dry on these guys. But it's moving very slowly. A lot of people around the office yesterday, but
yeah, it was a struggle. Yesterday was a struggle. But it was for a good cause. We spent the night with our great friends from DB Export Ultra, and that was great. And I did particularly enjoy being forced to drink the opposition's products.
Yes, that's
and
right.
And then you created some sort of death cloth.
Well, we just didn't want to have. We didn't want the competitor's product piling up in front of them. We were like, they don't need to look at this.
No.
And so Joe took his little napkin, the
black napkin,
and just put it over the top of it.
So it was like a dead body in the middle of the table, and it was made up of like 24 bottles.
Yes, he like closed its eyes and then pulled the blanket up over it.
They quite liked that. I think they really did like it.
Respectful.
And they said that is probably the most respectful thing you guys have ever done for us.
Yeah, we immediately turned it into a loss by aggressively shouting down anyone that beat Export at any award. Hey, but that's patriotism,
Yeah, well, it's the marketing awards. I mean, we don't go to many awards for that very reason. This one was sponsored by YouTube, and
which we're now on.
Of course, we're on YouTube. And shout out to YouTube if you could switch our pipe on a little bit bigger, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell that they control the pipe with who they partner with.
Yes, there were a few people there who weren't up for awards but were invited by YouTube. And you're like, oh, that's why.
That's why they get so many views, because they go,
despite the fact that their audience is too old to actually operate YouTube.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, they flopped it out.
Can I just to be clear, the reason no one watches our podcast on YouTube is because it's shit, not because we haven't had the pipe. I want to be clear.
But they flopped it out YouTube. Holy moly! The after party, basically, they opened up the rest of Spark Arena and had full symphony play for an hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
Yes.
Full noise.
And they finished it with Sandstorm, which is compulsory, obviously.
Yep.
And then just basically let loose 1,000 marketers and agencies onto the streets of Auckland on a Wednesday night.
Well, I walked out of there and all of the taxis had congregated around there trying to get everyone into their taxi. I was looking at them like, everyone that's about to walk out of this business has a company Uber account.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a taxi ride out of here.
Yeah, I think they rely on the 1 in 20 who are so fucking wasted. They just get into the net whatever they can.
Yeah, right.
That's what they rely on. And then it costs you $80 to go like 4 kilometres.
Yeah, it's brutal. But anyway, Friday, we're all back on track.
Yep.
Later on today, we'll have the sportsbook out.
Yep.
Carl will be joining us for that. But we are down to the pointy end. The greatest New Zealander of all time debate has come down to the grand final, and it is Sir Edmund Hillary versus Sir Charlie Upham.
You picked that from the start, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I just thought, I didn't realise how big a groundswell there was going to be for Charles Upham.
Neither did I, actually.
He has gone from strength to strength. And so we're going to let this thing cook over the weekend, give you every opportunity, because what we don't want is to announce the winner and then people say, I didn't get my chance to vote. Well, you got your chance.
And look, it's pretty fair. Both of them can't campaign.
No.
Both passed. So, it's an even playing field, because potentially if it was, say, Edmund Hillary versus Richie McCaw, one tweet, one post from Richie McCaw could swing it, whereas this is level playing field.
That's right. Also, fun fact about New Zealand law, you cannot defame the dead. So anything you want to say about either of them on social media, you can. I'm not encouraging it.
It's not in the spirit of the greatest New Zealander, though, is it?
It's not, but I am trying to sow discontent among the population. Don't just get in the comments with your support of one guy.
Yeah. Attack the other.
I can attack the other.
Yeah. You got to character assassinate the
yeah,
other
that's right.
You want to bring them down.
Drag them through the mud.
Yeah.
Cancel them. So you've got an entire weekend to cast your votes. And at the moment, very close. It's sort of like 50-50 at the moment. So I don't know which way that one's going to go. My gut says Charles Upham. I sort of thought he was going to win that from the get-go.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is with Sir Ed is that he is more everything to all people, as opposed to you might not be a fan of military campaigns or of that kind of side of humanity. You know what I mean? So I that's where I think it'll even up. You'll have the really patriotic Charles Upham fans, and then you'll have the kind of, the Sir Edmund Hillary, climbed the mountain.
Beekeeping.
Great beekeeper.
Yep.
Jet boated up the Ganges, all that kind of carry on.
Is a vote for, we talked at the start of this whole thing that a vote for Jason Gunn is a vote for Thingy. Is a vote for Sir Edmund Hillary a vote for Tenzing Norgay? Do you see it that way?
No.
Okay, so no love for Tenzing.
No, he's not a New Zealander.
Anyway, so that is up right now. Facebook, Instagram, go and have your say. The votes have been different on all platforms, so it's entirely up to you. And by the way, rig it if you want. If you want to vote multiple times on multiple platforms, fucking go for it.
Yeah, if you want to chuck it into the Russian algorithm and fucking go for it.
Get a bot farm going.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and talk some sport. Razor yesterday named his team, annoyingly, after we recorded the podcast, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But wholesale changes.
Yes, very interesting. Very interesting changes, I thought.
It's on the back of your wee rundown if you need a refresher. But basically, the back three is entirely different.
Yes.
So we've got Will Jordan, Sevu Reece, and Mark Talia. Now, I think Caleb Clark was injured.
Yes, because his jab of the butt, there is one change there with Talia coming in for him. But,
yes.
But then, obviously, Will Jordan goes to the back,
which
opens it up for Severed Peace to come in. Bodie back on the bench with TJ Perenara.
Yeah. And
obviously, and they come out and said, obviously, it's just to shore up the last 20 minutes with some leadership and experience, which seems like a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to me.
Doesn't it?
It's kind of, I don't know if I agree with it. It's kind of, at least I've come out and said it's exactly what they're doing. I mean, you got Bodie with over 100 caps. You got TJ Perenara with 80 odd. And
if you think back to the English series, it was when Bodie came on in that last 20 minutes that the game's completely changed complexion.
Oh, hell of an impact player. And also you got Dobro on the bench as well.
Yeah.
Anton Leonard-Brown and Perenara. So between those three, I think it is a knee jerk to that last 10 minutes. But big call though for Wallace Side Titty.
Yes.
Big call.
So he's debuting, this is his first start for the All Blacks, right?
At 6.
And he's at 6. My only thing I would say about that is that basically, loose forwards, you could play whoever you wanted there. Like, you could play Richie Mo'unga, you could play whoever, you can play whoever, whatever position you wanted. It really doesn't matter. It's nominal. What you need, though, is the roles. And the role of the 6 is he's a cleaner, he's a tackler, he's a big bear who fucks people up.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 of those already. Scott Barrett has played 6. Tupou Vai has played 6 as well. So it's not like there's this massive responsibility to be the only starting 6.
And Summer Penifino as well. Is he injured?
I do wonder, because Kamo was saying he didn't appreciate the penalties that Finau gave away the last, know. So I wonder if maybe Razors looked at that as well and said, "You're a little bit of a liability. Go away, think about it, and then come back."
It's a big call for Satiti. Like, I mean, I love him. I like him.
Yeah,
he's a Chiefs Mana fan, Chiefs Mana all the way. But against South Africa, that's going to be a big challenge, and I hope he steps up. But good to see Sneakers start. I think that's a good idea.
I think that's good too. I just wonder, is it too reactionary to what Razzie's doing? With the bomb squad thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it sort of, are you rolling over and showing your belly a little bit to be like, oh, okay, we'll do it too? And then even then not quite doing it the same, because we've still got 3 backs on the bench.
Yeah.
Last week we carried a winger on the bench, which I don't really understand the point of that.
Yeah.
If we're going to allow 8 reserves, I mean, didn't in the World Cup last year South Africa go 7-1 on their bench? And now they've been doing 6-2. Is it time that we start doing that?
Well, it's only one more away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who would you have though? You'd probably you'd say that
it would probably
be Leonard Brown, wouldn't it?
It would be, because everyone can cover all the other positions. I mean, if it was me, I would have him starting, and then I would have another forward on the bench. But again, that's why I'm not coaching the All Blacks. But yeah, I don't know how does, now that you've seen the team named. Oh, actually, before I get your prediction, that there's been wholesale changes on the other side as well. I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
Willie Leroux and Andre Pollard are back for South Africa. They have changed their winger out as well, and Lucanio who was the World Player of the Year 2 years ago, he's back on the bench as well. So wholesale changes from Razzie as well. Does that change your opinion on how this one's going to go?
I always said that if we lose this first one, we win the second one.
Yeah.
And I'm even more convinced that we will, given we should have won that first one. They'll take confidence out of that and say, we should have won that one. We're going to sort out the issues there. We come off the high veld. We're in Cape Town, surrounded by vineyards. It's more their Tūranga Waiwai. It's where they play in. So and not off the high veld, so the kicking, kind of long distance kicking, goes out of play as well. So I think they're going to win. I think they'll win by 1-12.
Yeah, right.
I have my hunch with Hauraki was Severed Peace be the first, second, or third try scorer, paying $4.40.
Yeah, I
thought it was quite good.
Sevu Reece is the exact kind of player we were missing last week.
Yeah,
I reckon.
The finisher.
Yeah,
He finds the line. Yeah,
those 2 dudes that they had, the Arenzi and Colby, they're carving us up. How about Colby bumping off Scott Barrett? Little bit of an optical illusion, but he still did bump him. But yeah, I felt like we were missing one of those dudes ourselves, and we got one.
Yeah, well, we got 2 really, because I find Princess Tally and Sevu Reece very similar players. They're very strong on their feet.
Yeah.
Their kind of horizontal movement is very quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they beat players that they shouldn't be beating.
Yeah, definitely. And Mark Talia looks like he drinks a gallon of canola oil before he goes out there, because he's so slippery. No one can get their hands on him. It's like, what? Is he wearing a tighter shirt than anyone else? I don't really know what the thing is. I agree with you. Yesterday we put our agenda hunch on All Blacks to win head-to-head. It's $2.35.
Yeah.
Anytime you can get the All Blacks at $2.35 is good eating.
Yep, I agree.
So we're going to pile on that one, I reckon.
Speaking on the rugby, though,
yes.
there's also a big Shield Challenge happening this weekend.
Oh.
Hawke's Bay are hosting Tasman.
Wow.
And Tasman are the favourites not by a considerable margin. They're paying $1.70 to Hawke's Bay's $2.
Right.
So that's probably the first serious Ranfurly Shield noise we've heard in about a year.
Yeah.
So that's happening this weekend. So that's probably going to be the biggest kind of non-international game to look out for.
Yeah, for sure. NPC rages on. I think this is good for South Canterbury, because if Tasman win it, at least we know we can get a team there.
Yeah, on a bus
to challenge for it. So I'm all in on the Marco there.
Okay, there you go.
Mate, I might actually chuck that in my hunch, in my three-way later on.
Well, the Marco 170.
Oh, it's too low, isn't it?
Yeah, well, because the Hawke's Bay paying at home, paying $2. But anyway, there you go.
You're not going to trick me into that. It's become very competitive now on the old...
now that you're losing.
If you don't listen to the sports book with the TAB, we have a 3-league bet each week, myself, Lane and Carl from the TAB. And whoever loses the most by the end of the year has to carry the bags for a golf comp, round of golf. And what was I, like 3 behind you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm now 2 behind you because one came in over the weekend. So there's been a bit of campaigning to get each other to do dumb bets, try and talk each other into stupid bets in the office. One of them will come off. We have an NRL Off-Field Scandal.
Yes.
Lane, ring the alarm. North Queensland assistant coach James Maloney has been sacked by the club after being charged with drink driving and a blow to the Cowboys on the cusp of the NRL finals. The 38-year-old, who you will remember from the Warriors grand final run in 2011, James Maloney. He joined the club this season, the Cowboys that is, after finishing his playing career in France, where he got banned for steroids in a Div 2 French league.
What?
He then showed up in the changing rooms at the Cowboys as an assistant coach with a full-on ponytail, and he's now been done for DUI. Is this the most rugby league thing of all time? A player getting involved in an off-field scandal when he's not even a player anymore.
Yeah, that's... I mean, is it a sackable offence to get done drunk driving?
Well, if you need your license, like if you're a courier, yes.
If you're a truck driver,
if you're a truck driver, yeah. Even a forklift driver, I'd probably argue.
And I'm not condoning drink driving at all.
No.
But then this must be the final straw. There must be other shit because...
Well, particularly on the eve of finals.
Yeah, there is a number of people who have been done DUI who keep their jobs.
Yes.
In fact, the majority of people, except, like you say, people involved driving.
Yeah. That's right. And even then, some of them get a license to use their...
They get the interlock. So he's done something else. There's obviously some... This is probably the third discipline issue he's had. And they're right, all right, that's it. You're out of here.
First was the ponytail. They would have dragged them into the office and just been like,
we can't
hear. Hey, this is strike 1. You've got 2 more. There'll be another one that we'll never hear about, whitewash investigations.
Yeah.
And then this one would have, and they would be like, look, bugger it. But yeah, I agree with you. I didn't think that would have been a sacking thing. Has the game gone soft?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They've gone soft.
It is a Thursday now. It's a Friday. Yesterday we usually do the Mad Monday team list podcast, but obviously Warriors don't have a team list for the remainder of this season, so no Mad Monday podcast yesterday. However, we still do have a bet to put on. And I would like to draw your attention to a game that's going on tonight. It's sold out a week in advance, and it is the Tigers versus the Eels for the wooden spoon. The loser of this game receives the wooden spoon. It's the first time in years that we've had a spoon bowl. How exciting is a spoon bowl?
I love the fact it's called a spoon bowl.
Yeah, it's at Campbelltown, so it's a home match for the Tigers, who sucked their fullbacks out. Obviously, they sucked in the fucking spoon bowl. But how do you reckon you gamble on a spoon bowl? There's probably a question for Carl later on at the TAB, but I was talking to someone out in the office about it, and he was like, it's going to be, bet the overs, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I was like, no, I think both teams don't want to lose as opposed to wanting to win. There's nothing to win. There is everything to lose.
Yeah.
Because the loser gets the spoon. So I'm kind of thinking, do you go unders?
I don't know.
Won't it be a real negative game?
No, I think they're both... I don't think it'll be negative because I think they're probably both got teams that have got quite weak defence.
Oh, definitely.
So I think for that very reason, I don't think they'd be capable of shutting it down.
If they could shut it down, they wouldn't be in the spoon bowl.
Yeah.
That is a very, very good point. Anyway, for the hunch, I was looking through there's a power play on there at the moment. Micah Sivo, who's come back into the squad after injury and bad form, he's come back in and he is rollicking at the moment. So I've gone him, anytime try scorer, and the Eels 1-12. I do think it'll be tight when you're fighting for the spoon.
Yeah.
And that's at $5, which I think is very juicy. Micah Sivo, I think, is the shortest try-scoring odds in the NRL this weekend, is at about $1.36. So the TAB's saying you're going to score a try.
Yeah.
It's just when you sprinkle a little Eels 1-12 action on top of that. And I think the Eels will win.
Yeah. Okay, so that's your Mad Monday hunch.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mad Mondays, heard any whispers?
I haven't. Now,
most teams' Mad Mondays is this coming Monday, isn't it? Because Warriors,
half of them.
The Warriors have a bye.
Yes.
This weekend, so technically their season finished that. So their Mad Monday was last Monday?
Yes.
Or will they have a traditional one with the rest of the teams this Monday? Well, half the teams.
Well, their prize giving is on Sunday, so would it be the Monday after that? Do you reckon? No, because you can't keep 30 dudes who have been hanging out for a big blowout
You can't
waiting for over a week.
Yeah, they're a difficult hog to keep in the hedge.
It will it will have happened, I reckon. I haven't heard anything, so they've done a great job of shutting it down. To the degree that my only inside source, Taylor Montoya, wife of Marcelo Montoya, and star of the Montoya's podcast, she actually finished up working with us the week that their last game was. So I can't even ask her what's going on. So I wonder if that was tactical from the Warriors.
Yeah, just basically isolate all third parties from media. Good on them. I mean, there's obviously key learnings from the years gone by around how to keep these things quiet.
I have heard, and I don't know if this was the Warriors, but I have heard about a team, and I've told this story before, but that on their Mad Monday, they had a fleet of taxi vans waiting out the front, and each driver had a full team list, the photo of the guy, their name, their next of kin, and their address. So that when the person got put in the back of their van, they didn't even have to talk to them. They're just like, yep, that is this guy. Yep. This is where he lives. This is who to ring to say we've got your mate coming home here. So, yeah, it's become an art. But the thing that annoys me is, and I remember Joey Johns talking about this, was like in the early 2000s when they had their Mad Monday, they'd just be like
down the pub,
down the viaduct, wherever it is that their team was based. And people would get involved as well. They'd hit the piss with them and join them and blah, blah, blah. But now, everyone's filming everything on their phones and that. So now they can't do it. And it's like, wouldn't you rather they were out, wouldn't you rather the Warriors are just down the viaduct on their Mad Monday?
Yeah, I back in those early 2000s, I did bump into the Warriors at Fox's Ale House.
Yeah.
And that was when Stacey Jones was dressed like Biggles. Owen Gutenberg lit his pubes on fire. It was great stuff. And I was just down there having a drink with a mate, and they just all came into the bar. And they were lighting pubes. I lit my pubes on fire. It was great stuff. No one had phones out.
And everyone had pubes.
There was no pubes by the end of the night.
Powerful. Yeah, bring it back.
Yeah. No, it never will. And the case in point is that fuckwit trying to fight Adesanya in the streets.
Yeah, so that
on Wednesday.
That video's sort of surfaced. It's doing the rounds on social media at the moment, and he posted on social and saying, "Oh, it's ridiculous that I can't even, go down and get a pie after training without
fuckwit."
Yeah, but I've always found it interesting because it's like you don't go up to a basketball player and try and dunk on him in the streets. Like you don't go up to a rugby player and try and tackle him. Why is it that when a guy fights for a living, people just want to?
Well, it's combat. It's like
I know.
Like the guy who's taking him on, he looks like he's been on the back end of the glass barbecue for a while. He just he's shorter than him.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like he's much. I don't know.
And there's no win there for Israel Adesanya because he sparks this dude out and then you knocked some random dude out. Like he would have got trashed in the media for doing that.
Sick car though.
Fucking sick car. Matte Black McLaren.
Massive fucking dick shrinker for that guy, though, when he opens the door and it's like the one that goes straight up. And it went straight up and it's like, fucking get back in your fucking...
That's what he said. Get back in your busted piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I'll get in mine.
Yeah, get back into your car with no hubcaps, the fucking windows up, fucking smoking the glass Barbie, and I'm going to get in my $800,000 McLaren and I'm going to go home.
Yeah, which I got for beating people up, by the way, you fucking idiot. It did kind of... I don't know. I
was embarrassed.
I was embarrassed too, yeah. It was cringy. Because what's the best case scenario in that dude's head? Like, he gets out and knocks out Israel Adesanya and people are like, wicked, man. Oh, you knocked out a dude who was just going to get a pie? Fucking nice one. Like, I don't understand. And fighters always say, oh, look, if you want to, we can fight in the ring.
Yeah.
Here's what the UFC pay me. You match that, I'll fight you.
Well, he did say in the video, he goes, I will pay you to fight me.
He should. He should get that guy down. But I'm
happy to do a whip around. Put a give a little together. Let's get a pot together, and let Israel beat the snot out of this guy in the ring.
Yep. And we'll let the TAB take our money on it as well. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, a bit of yours, please, for a Friday.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
We have a couple of them to get through today, Lane.
Excellent.
First caller, yours, please.
G'day, fellas.
Hi.
This Warriors bar is an actual great idea. It's for all the bandwagon supporters who are going to be stuck at a Blues game. And when the Blues finish at about 9 o'clock and the Wars are playing overseas, you stroll over to Kingsland, watch the Warriors. You can't get to a sold-out Mount Smart, you watch it there. It's just for all the fancy Pinot Noirs to watch it from the comfort of not industrial South Central Auckland. Cheers, fellas.
Yeah, well, I think we mentioned this when they first bought it, that, you know, some person were like, oh, that's not a true supporters bar. No, it's not. It's probably a bar that wants to make money.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's a good point. We're looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah. It's not a supporters bar. This is a bar set up on the back of Warriors' success, the Pinot Noirs. Matt Heath lives around there, for an example. And, you know, and when the Warriors are playing, they don't want to go to Go Hard.
Mount Smart, yeah.
To Go Hard, they can just go down there and watch it. But, I mean...
That is a really good point you raised there. We're looking at it the wrong way. We're looking at it, as we've been told, that the Warriors have bought a bar, but actually it was a bar that wanted to rebrand.
Yeah.
And we're like, who's real hot right now?
Yeah, Warriors.
The Warriors, yeah. But I really liked that caller's point because it was like, I was trying to figure out who goes there because you can't go there after Mount Smart. You can't get there.
No. You'd go there for, you'd target away games as a base, but then again, you're looking at the hardcore supporters of the Warriors aren't living in Kingsland or Mount Eden.
No.
At all.
No.
So you're not targeting them, are you?
Bear in mind, Mount Eden are the community that banned concerts at Eden Park because they were too loud and they all wanted to go to sleep.
Yep.
These are not the Warriors faithful living around there.
Yeah. So, and I guess, afters at a Blues game, but then again, about 2,000 people go to a Blues game.
That was the other thing I was going to say. I was like, have you watched a Blues game this year? Like they probably wouldn't fill out the pub.
But I am all down for a decent sports bar, particularly in Auckland. Shapiro's is cool, but it's just a bit too small. You can only get about 150 people in it. Good sports bar where you can get 300 people, get a real good atmosphere, just geared towards sport, not a half-ass effort that's just half gastropub, half sports bar.
Yeah,
doesn't play commentary, plays the music. Looking at you, Empire. You got screens everywhere. You never play the fucking commentary. And when we asked you to, when it's full of Warriors fans, you said you didn't know how to get fucked.
I love that when the bars tell you they don't know how to change it.
It's like why are you playing Prodigy? Everyone's here to watch the Warriors. And it was funny. I got up on the table and I went, everyone, who's here to watch the Warriors? And pretty much everyone put their hand up. And I said to the barman, huh?
Commentary on.
He didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, I can't remember the last decent sports bar I've been to in New Zealand. Like there's obviously the locals that have the TABs and they play the horses, but that's not a sports bar.
It's not a sports bar. Like it's
the best one I've ever been to was pre-earthquake Holy Grail.
Yes, in Christchurch.
That was sick.
Yeah, like they had a big grandstand, a big enough area to have a bit of interactive shit in there.
It was a movie theatre turned into a bar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, we'll get there eventually, but I'm glad that they are. I hope that I don't fuck it up. That's all.
We could all be wrong, and maybe the full-time bar owned by the Warriors is that.
Terrible name, by the way.
Isn't it? We talked about it yesterday. Like, there's so many other options.
Thank God they didn't call it Up the Wires Bar or something, because that would have been
Up
the bar. That would have been so bad.
I don't know. Full-time's pretty average.
Pretty
what is that? I don't know. Anyway, we've already discussed that. Another caller here. Yours, please.
Yeah, g'day, fellas.
Hi.
Just a reality check to the Muppet who said that Richie McCaw wasn't from Otago. The Waitaki district is famously a cross-regional district with Canterbury and Otago, and Kurau and the Huka Valley are in fact on the Canterbury side. So Richie McCaw is indeed from Canterbury. Fuck Otago.
Okay, that was me. Obviously, I'm yet. You said you were going to spread a map out for me.
Yes,
of Lower South Island and go through that. I just presumed he went to Otago Boys. He's
from Otago.
He's from Otago. And some say that it still sounds like it's the Kashmir of the South Island. Really, there's some disputes over where it finishes and ends.
Oh, right. That was confusing because there is a suburb in Christchurch called Kashmir.
Oh, no, this is Kashmir with a K. Like, this is the India-Pakistan border up in the mountains there.
Nah, it's very clear. It's a very clear distinction. The Waitaki River divides North Otago and South Canterbury. And Richie was born on the South Canterbury side of the river.
But he's from Kurau?
That is the nearest town. That's the nearest town to where he's from. Unfortunately, he has to cross a bridge to get to that town. So,
where was he born?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Was he born in Dunedin Hospital?
Was he born in Oamaru Hospital?
Yeah.
That would be even worse. You know what? I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah.
We have the capability. We need to find it.
Forget where he lives. Where did he come out of his mother's vagina?
Well, Richie McCaw, because I know that the Hacker Valley does not have a
maternity suite?
Yeah, Oamaru.
Oamaru,
which is North Otago.
Here we go. There's one for the North Otagos.
There is one for the North Otagos. All right, then. South Canterbury is still claiming him. Although I know if you asked him, he would say, I'm not from South Canterbury. Anyhow, we digress. All right, let's knock this thing on the head for today. Plenty coming out over the next sort of 24 hours. We've got the sports book very shortly, and then we've got a very special edition of the podcast that could be out today, could be out across the weekend. We're still working through the legal ramifications of whether we're even allowed to release that podcast.
Yeah, David Nika.
Yep.
He did say...
some cancelable stuff.
Yeah, he did say. I was quite surprised, actually. Yeah. You could be cancelled for this.
So if the podcast is out, go and listen to it. And if it's not, it's because all three of us have been internally cancelled before we release that podcast. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend and we'll see you on Monday.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.